where the viaduct looms like a bird of doom as it shifts and cracks, where secrets lie in the border fires and the humming wires. Yeah, man, you know you're never coming back. Across the square, across the bridge, past the mills, past the stacks. On a gathering storm comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with a red right hand. He'll wrap you in his arms, tell you that you've been a good boy. He'll rekindle all the dreams that took you a lifetime to destroy. He'll reach deep into the hole, heal your shrinking soul, but there won't be a single thing that you can do. He's a god, he's a man, he's a ghost, he's a guru. They're whispering his name through this disappearing land, but hidden in his coat is a red right hand. You don't know no money, get you some. You don't have no car, get you one. You don't have no self-respect, you feel like an insect. Well, don't you worry, buddy, cause here he comes through the ghettos and the barrio and the barry and the slum. His shadow is cast wherever he stands, stacks of green paper in his red right hand. You'll see him in your head on the TV screen. Hey buddy, I'm warning you to turn it off. He's a ghost, he's a god, he's a man, he's a guru. You're one microscopic cog in his catastrophic plan, designed and directed by his red right hand.
Hello, my friends. It's good to be back with you again. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of The Weekly Prick. I'm your cynical host with the most, Skylar Smith. Thank you for allowing me to merge with your vibration via this download sequence of ones and zeros that through the magic of technological innovation is converted into sound and presented in a universal medium for all to experience. I sincerely hope that this podcast is as enjoyable for you to listen to as it is for me to present. And as always, I urge you to contact me with your input on any number of subjects. I'm open to all of them. I'm currently in the process of preparing to move across the country yet again. So I apologize that I haven't had more production stuff for you guys to enjoy, but I promise that that it is coming. And I'm writing a few scripts for the 5-minute movies and more spoof commercials, etc., etc. I always say etc. It's etc., right? I think so. Hopefully in the next few weeks I'll have some of that available for you. Also, the Weekly Prick t-shirts are coming. I'm working on some designs and hope to have those available by the fall or winter, as well as some other shit that will probably, be made in China because it's cheaper. And I'll tell you why the Chinese do it cheaper, because they know we'll buy it back. It's revenge for making them build the first transcontinental railroad back during the gold rush. Yeah, they decided to own us commercially because we treated them like dirt. All those immigrants wrote letters home about the shit we were making them do, and China was just sitting back waiting for the day when, just like that railroad, everything in America would be made by China. And here we are, Now that's fucking revenge. Can you imagine if the Chinese had teamed up with blacks and Native Americans? Holy shit, that would be like if Tiger Woods were a casino. We'd be living in a different world. A world of peace pipes, rice, and fried chicken. Old white men everywhere just got to chill up their spine. Out there on their porch in Florida, in their polo shirt and their khaki pants like, did you feel that, Francis? A disturbance in the force. But yes, t-shirts are coming. Maybe some stickers or a pint glass or some shit, I don't know. I wouldn't mind selling something people would actually fucking use. Like deodorant or something. Smell like a prick. A Weekly Prick toothpaste. Yeah, or better yet, if I'm going to actually try to reach out to my target demographic, it'd be the Weekly Prick Day After Pill. Home abortion kit? Okay, moving on. Email your thoughts to theweeklyprick@skylarwho.com or contact me on Twitter at TheRealSkyZoo. That's TheRealSkyTZU on Twitter. Jesus, it's been hot. It's been fucking hot, man. Oh, and all these dopes, they walk around like, psh, I ain't even broke 100 yet. Shut up. It's hotter than hell and you fucking know it. And the sun here. I always knew that the closer you got to the equator, the hotter it was. But I always assumed it was the air that was hot or something. No, not the air. The fucking sun is hotter. You're physically closer to the sun here. Can you imagine this planet being any closer to the sun than it already is? I mean, it's already hot enough to kill you in a day right now. If you went and sat on the equator for a day, it would kill you. I believe that. But if you also believe that all this gravity and, revolving science stuff that we're doing, right? I might have it wrong, but the Earth revolves around the sun like a satellite, right? That's how it works. Just like our satellites revolve around us, and then they eventually fall back onto the ground, because of the gravity on Earth. Are you with me? Right? The gravity pulls them in, the satellites. So, I mean, doesn't that mean the Earth will eventually get pulled into the sun? How long does that take? It's either that or it's going to supernova, right? That's how it's going down. Either way, it's getting hotter. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe that'll help explain some of that global warming shit everybody's talking about, Maybe it's because we're getting pulled closer into the sun. I don't know. I'm just an idiot. If you actually know the answer, send it to me because I'm not going to Google it. But yeah, it's been hot as fucking balls. Fucking rain is gone. Haven't seen a drop in like a month. So that's not helping. But Lake Travis is almost full, so people can finally stop bitching about that. I swear to God, there are 3 things people down here talk about. The heat, the rain, and how full the fucking lake is. Most of them don't even own a boat. They treat it like some weird fucking community pet. Like the whole city's invested in it. Everybody wants to bitch when it's low. And they still water in their lawns 5 days a week. And they wonder why the shit's low. I figured out it's just one of those stupid talking points that'll never go away. Like if you lived in a small town in the 1800s, let's say, and There's that one broad that everyone kind of thinks is a witch, She's always out there doing kind of weird shit, fucking collecting mushrooms, making little fucking figures out of sticks or some shit. Who knows, Everybody's always gossiping about her whereabouts, and who she's talking to, who she's seeing every day, what her rituals are, And then they talk so much they get themselves built up into this weird insanity, and then they go grab her and burn her at the stake. Is that what this is like? Ah, Jesus, I'm losing it. You have one ancestor being killed as a witch, and suddenly you're an expert. Anyway, it's fucking hot, but bitching about that doesn't change the fact that it's hot. It just makes it that much more irritating. Like when someone keeps bringing up a story of something you did when you were drunk, and they just keep beating the dead horse. It's like, all right, man, I get it. I took a shit on her windshield. Can we move on? Here I am bitching about people bitching about the heat while I also bitch about the heat. So I just need to shut the fuck up. It's either so fucking hot or too fucking cold, too dry, too wet, not enough sun. My eyebrows are on fire. I'm glad when I wake up in the morning that I'm not in Afghanistan. But, yeah, it's fucking hot. But I'm going to change this topic real quick. How about that for a segue? I've been looking into survival equipment, before I disappear like Bigfoot when the camera comes on. I was checking out this cot. I think the company's called Teton. I like that. Sounds better. It sounds badass. And the cot is badass, man. It's like it's 85 by 40 or something fucking ridiculous like that. It's essentially a bed. In the picture of it, of course, I'm shopping on Amazon. I just love Amazon. I can just find everything with a click, and it's sent right to my house. It's beautiful. And in the picture, they show 6 heavy, big old Wisconsin corn-fed boys standing on it. All 6 of them on the cot. It's like, what the fuck? How is that even possible? Things like barely even, like the fabric itself should rip, right? Even if the structure holds up, the fabric is what's gonna fucking rip. But they're standing on it, I don't want to see them start jumping on that, and then it'll be a different story. But it's pretty much like a fucking, I don't know, I think it's probably like 20 pounds or something. It's not too bad. I'm just going to, it's like 3 times the price of like normal cots. So I guess my question is it worth the money? Because I could get something a lot cheaper that would essentially work, but I feel like if you're going to buy it, you buy one that's going to last a lifetime, right? And they got a bunch of cool accessories for it, like this little fucking mat that you can put on it, so it's even more bed-like. So, I don't know, that's why I'm leaning towards getting the good one, I'd like to get, like, all military spec shit if it was possible. I do have a price problem, but there's the 5-piece, I'm looking at a 5-piece sleeping bag system, all right? And it can be used from 50 degrees to negative 50, which is fucking insane. I could survive an ice age with that sleeping bag. And, if I had enough frozen corpses lying around, I could do it. Oh, my God, it's like that movie, Still Here. No, not Dead. No, what's that? Alive. That movie, Alive. I watched that documentary, or a documentary on it, and it was fucking intense. This plane crashed in the mountains. Some people were killed. A lot of people were still alive, and they were just in the top of the Alps or some shit. And they showed a map of how far, because a couple of the guys had to strike out to try to find somebody because everybody else is just like, oh, I can't do anything, I'm stuck here. But these guys are like, I'm not gonna die on this fucking mountain, I tell you that much. And they fucking decided to go try to find some shit. And they showed the map of how far they had to walk and to find someone to bring help. And they just were able to climb and descend over the mountains that they were in. They I don't even know how they took them 5 days or some shit. And it was just fucking amazing. But they did have to eat a couple of the corpses of the people that were in the flight. They had to eat them to live. I think one was an old lady too. I'm not sure. I wouldn't even want to eat the old lady. Personally, be like, where's the fat guy? Let me get him. I get the fat guy. But ever since I was a child, I've always envision that is the only way to survive. If you were stranded in the jungle in a completely different situation, and the going was getting a little tough as far as the food went, but there are all sorts of preserved corpses lying everywhere. What you would do is you go grab a cast iron skillet, throw a little cayenne, a little garlic, some olive oil in there, a little sprinkle of salt, and you fry that fucking shoulder up. You don't ever eat the main body, no, out of respect. But I'll snatch your fucking leg off, and I'll throw that bitch on a rotisserie and slow cook that gammon until every last one of those starving pricks are wanting to get at it like the animals that we are. Ha ha! I'm kidding, of course. They only needed to do it because they were stranded in the fucking Alps or some shit where there aren't any nuts and berries laying around. Sometimes you gotta eat a motherfucker and get on with your life. Anyway. I found the right cot, all right? The right bag. I picked out a decent external frame hiking backpack, hiking pack, I guess, or hiking frame. I don't even know what you do. It's like a metal frame with a couple, with some clips and shit on it. It's like, I don't know. It's like an external deal. You hook everything up to it. It's got like a little seat on it so you can hold even more weight. It's like tall. And, you got to buy like a cover for it, like a waterproof little cover to put around your shit. Your shit like all mounts in there. It's like a backpack with no fucking exterior skin to it, It's just the frame, and then you got to buy the skin or whatever and fucking hook it up to it. But yeah, man, I got that. I got this little self-inflating pillow. I got a nice little 10x10 teepee. I'm fucking ready to roll, man. Got Flint and a striker. It's for real, ladies and gentlemen. It is fucking for real. I'm not fucking around. If you're gonna do the shit, you do the shit right. But yeah, if you think of anything that I'm missing, or of anything, helpful information, tips, places to get information, fucking let me know. I've been looking at a couple books right now about on edible flora and fauna type of shit, like just general survival information, right? And just learn how to tie a few knots. Jesus, sound like I'm trying to earn merit badges in the Boy Scouts. Pervert! But these things are very fascinating to me, and being able to survive anywhere is a good skill to have, right? Whatever this is probably fucking boring, Who gives a fuck about my fucking cot that I'm buying, okay? I don't know. Let's just take what we'll do here is we'll take a quick break, like normal, as per the usual, and check out this week's throwback trailer. Do you guys find these at all amusing, like these throwback trailers, listening to the Goonies or whatever? I love movies, and the trailers are great too. I love trailers as a skill, like to make a trailer and show like every good part of the movie. I appreciate that because I see it for free. I never have to go see the flick, and it's almost like I did. I enjoyed it just about as much as I would when they show all the good shit. It's like, all right, I don't even got to see that now. But I do realize that the trailers may be lacking a little bit on the podcast because you can't actually see them. But I don't know. I kind of think it translates over well enough. So we'll check that out right now, and then get into some of that 1986 action, bitches, as once again we celebrate the years of my life through pop culture in this week's Audio Time Machine. Machine. Is that a good name? I don't know. I've been trying to think of something to call it, but I'm fucking shitty at titles, I don't really know. I guess it doesn't really need a title. Nobody fucking listens to this anyway. But nonetheless, here is this week's sponsor.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
Two beers, all right? One for me, one for me mate.
A legendary figure about to encounter a world more treacherous than any he has ever known.
G'day. Dick Dundee from Australia. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Just going to town for a couple of days. Probably see you around.
Fine.
This your first trip to New York?
First trip anywhere.
Well, we might just have to give you one for free.
Yeah. On what?
How are you finding New York?
Bit of a lunatic or something.
That's why I love it, because I fit right in. G'day.
Hello.
Sorry. G'day. Look.
My bag! Stop it! Stop
When are you coming home, huh?
Well, if you can manage, Wal, I'd like to stay a while.
Wouldn't have anything to do with a certain lady writer, would it?
Paramount Pictures presents
Your towel, Senor Meek.
Paul Hogan
Hey, my man, what's happening?
Where?
as Crocodile Dundee.
You got a light, buddy?
Yeah, sure, kid.
And your wallet.
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Crocodile Dundee.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. The year is 1986. I am 2 years old. My parents surely losing their minds. And my 8-year-old sister was probably dressing me up like a girl and pushing me down the stairs. It was a simpler time. And now, I'd like to take you back to the smoky, gas-guzzling, union-abusing year known as 1986, the year Ronald Reagan and his dumb anorexic wife had already gotten 4 years deep into a war declared against the American people. And also, Iowa's All-American running back Ronnie Harmon fumbled the ball 4 times in his last game at the Rose Bowl. Let's all bask in the glory that is 1986. A lot of things happened, folks. 1986 was groovy. Maybe not groovy, but it was rad, to say the least. Did you know in 1986, the first induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame occurred? That is right. 86. And who do you think went there? Who do you think? Who's that first ballot? You got a few guesses, don't you? How many of those people do you think are black? That is my next question for you. Think about those answers. I'll give you time. All right, we're not doing the whole thing, but I'm going to run through them right now. You got that in your mind? Here we go. In no particular order. Chuck Berry. Boom. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. Chuck Berry, first ballot, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Everyone applaud. Next on the list, James Brown. Wow. Fucking right, man. James Brown, son. Give it up for James Brown, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, anyway. Ray Charles is there. Domino. The Everly Brothers. Buddy Holly. Jerry Lee Lewis. And Elvis Presley. That's right. The first induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame took place in grand old 1986. Whoopi Goldberg won a Golden Globe for The Color Purple, a film which last week we discovered I know absolutely nothing about other than it has Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover in it and big old Oprah Winfrey. No, but seriously, I'm going to revisit The Color Purple. It's Steven Spielberg, of course, who was on fire in the mid-'80s. On fire! But I also enjoy Danny Glover and Whoopi Goldberg from time to time. But speaking of Whoopi, I've always wondered this, and what better time to ask now? But is Whoopi Goldberg a black Jew? I mean, Goldberg is keenly Jewish, right? And she's obviously black. I've always wondered that. Now maybe I'll find out. Someone, please, if you know that the answer to that question, send that to me at theweeklyprick, skylarwho.com, or on Twitter at TheRealsGuys. Getting back to the 86 era of glory. That's right. Spud Webb of the Atlanta Hawks wins the NBA Slam Dunk competition when it was still cool. All right, Spud Webb is 5'7", first and foremost. Suck on that one. 5'7" wins the dunk competition. Now, this might be the first time someone under 6 foot has ever won it. The first time since the white boys were the only people playing in the league. The first time in the history of actual basketball. I don't know if anybody under 6 foot has ever won it, but he was not the last one to do it. Nate Robinson, obviously, also did it later, much later. But Spud Webb in 86, baby. He's the original short, Duncan son of a bitch. He was good. Remember he used to do that, like, walking on stairs thing? Like when he was jumping? Or was that Muggsy Bogues? I don't know. There was a few good Spud guys. Spud guys. Short guys. Fucking Earl the Squirrel, man. Yeah. Earl Boykins, you remember him? I like the short guys. How tall was John Stockton? I feel like he was at least 6 foot, though. Short guys are good. And Spud Webb was one of the best. Moving on. Mike Tyson sexually harasses a woman in Albany, New York, in 1986. Don't question where I get my facts from, ladies and gentlemen. These are just facts that I find quite interesting. It's a very unique interpretation of what happened in that great year. Surely some of you older fucks remember that. Old Iron Mike Tyson. I don't know if that was that, what's her name? Not Robin Quivers. That's Howard Stern's black lady. What was that chick's name? She's a good-looking chick, I think. Fuck, I can't remember her name. I think that's the one. I don't know. Didn't he have a couple different things? Or was that, No, he had at least two, I think. Moving on. Only one in 1986. The United States allows its debates to be televised on television. Televised, that's what that means. The United States Senate allows its debates to be televised on a televised. Okay, listen. The U.S. government... Motherfucker. The U.S. government finally showed the debates between the candidates for Senate on television for a trial basis. What the fuck were they doing before that? For 200 years, they didn't show shit on television? Well, I mean, I guess television was only around since, the 50s and 40s or some shit like that. 60s, when was TV invented? 50s, right? Something like that. God, for God's sake. But yeah. Took them that long. I feel like the government would have been taking advantage of that a long time ago. Maybe they didn't want it, and the people finally made it happen. Anyway, thought that was kind of interesting. Also, speaking of government buffoonery, the Challenger rocket exploded in 1986, killing all the astronauts, including a school teacher, I think. For the longest time, I thought Sally Ride died in that. I was fucking convinced. But no, she didn't. She didn't die in that. But she was the first woman in space. But that was in 1983. And that doesn't fit into our timeline. But one lady was the teacher and had really no astronaut experience. And I remember it was a big deal. And somehow my mom has some connection to her, I think, or something. But really, I mean, it's sad, but they all had it coming. They're trying to leave the atmosphere in a piece of metal that is essentially a bomb directed downward to push you up. I mean, there's shit that can possibly go wrong here. Okay? There's inherent risk. All right? That's the word I was looking for. So fuck. You can't. You're a hero, but you can't really feel bad about that because it's in the name of science. But life lost, God bless. Rest in peace. The NFL adopted the instant replay rule. 1986, folks. That's how ahead of the game the NFL was. How much they wanted to at least appear that they were getting it right. And fuck, didn't baseball just add that like a few years ago? Man, it shows you what stubborn cunts those guys are, man. It was stick to their fucking ways. We don't need no instant replay. We see it all. We can't make a mistake. There's no possible way we can make a mistake. The ball was fair or was foul. It's black or it's white. There's no difference. It's everything. That didn't even make sense. Oh, and speaking of stubborn cunts, don't forget about Chernobyl, right? That was 86. You know, leave it to the fucking Russians to screw it all up. And for all you young kids out there that don't know Chernobyl, it was the Fukushima of the 80s, rather. Or of 86, I guess. We're in 86. We'll stick to that. It was the Fukushima of 86, all right? The only difference was everyone in America laughed because it was the dirty fucking commies that it happened to, not to, you know, our good friends, the Japanese. Oh, now we have a good friend. Oh, we love the Japanese now, man. You know, it's like that kid in school that you beat the shit out of really bad one time, you know, but then you felt bad about it, so you started, like, protecting him when other people were trying to bully him, and he kind of, like, became your little sidekick, and he got tough over time. That's kind of how that is. That's how our relationship is with the Japanese. Moving on. For more baseball knowledge that nobody cares about, Sparky Anderson, old Spark, that's right, boys, was the first manager to win 600 games in both leagues. Now that's fucking impressive. Very impressive. 600 games in both leagues as a manager. How do you feel about them apples, Teddy T? I know you like Sparky Anderson. I see you listening out there. It shows me everything. I know all the stats. I got your IP address, motherfucker. Old Spark, though. Nikki, you'll probably find that interesting, too. That happened in 1986. Man, that's 2 years separated from a Tigers World Series, which is the year of my birth. If I didn't bring that up in my 1984 episode, it's because I was just fucking around. I'm going to bring it up now, though. Just remember, 2 years prior to 86, the year I was born, 84, the Tigers won the World Series. Hasn't happened again since. Here we are, 31 years later, still enjoying the Tigers. They sucked a lot of dick for a lot of years, but now they started spending some money. They're getting back in the swing of things here, so to say. No terrible pun intended. We'll see if they can manage to break 500 this year. Fucking assholes. Alrighty. 1986, the year that Matt Groening, or however you pronounce it, created one of the greatest shows of all time, The Simpsons. Granted, back then, the artwork on it was a little shaky, but the premise was solid, and it withstood the test of time, as we can clearly see, as it's still on the air right now. There's an episode of The Simpsons on right now somewhere in America or many places. That dude has got to be a fucking multi-billionaire with all the money that franchise has made. Does anybody know? Might have to Google that shit. Sorry. Need some water. I might have to Google that and see how much that man is actually worth. Because it is my estimation that it's quite a bit. Let's see here. Matt. How do you say? Is it Groening? Groening? Graining? I don't know. Oh, net worth. Look how rude the world is. That's like the fourth pop-up on Google. Matt Groening net worth. $500 million, they say. According to CelebrityNetWorth.com, he is estimated to be worth $500 million. In addition to having created one of America's best-known dysfunctional families, who include Homer, Mother Marge, daughter Lisa, son Bart, and baby Maggie, Groening has had many other successes. Like what? Well, let's see what that is. I don't know what the fuck else he's done other than The Simpsons. Beep, showing his fucking $12 million mansion. God, he's an ugly mug, too. Tell you what, dude. It's a good thing you're a fucking great cartoonist. Let's see what this fucking guy did. I don't see anything else. You know what? It's all fucking clickbait. I quit. You made The Simpsons, alright? That's all you get from me, fuckstick. I like your shit. Can't you tell? Alright. Also in 86, breaking news, Scientologists. L. Ron Hubbard died in 86. How can you take that seriously? Okay? This all this Scientology nonsense, all right? I've been alive longer than he's been dead. You can't have a religion like that. It's ridiculous. That's like me being older than my parents or something. I don't know. It's just fucking weird. It doesn't make sense, all right? It doesn't make sense. And the problem is they went ahead and slapped the word science on there to make you feel stupid if you don't believe. Make it seem like, what the fuck is his name? Neil Tyson is going to give the fucking blessing on that. It's not. It should have been called science fictiontology because it's fucking ridiculous, preposterous shit. Okay? Yeah, Dianetics and some ideas that L. Ron Hubbard had about certain things were sound. That's how they trick you. They throw a little bit of truth in there and weasel it all up. You know? And speaking of weasel, or Wiesel, old Eli Wiesel. Eli Wiesel. Do you guys remember Eli Wiesel? I remember him. And in 1986, he won the Peace Prize. My guess, it's for his book, Night. If you don't know Eli Wiesel, because you're an uncultured swine, he was a concentration camp survivor in World War II, kiddies, and he wrote a children's book about it. And I remember reading it in middle school sometime. And it forever made me ashamed of my German heritage. So thank you for that, Eli Wiesel. And that's going to round out our 1986 ridiculous trivia knowledge that, for some reason, I find interesting. Hopefully you did too. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you knew all that. If you knew all that, I would be shocked because it's a pretty obscure list of nonsense. And what I'd like to do now is move on to a particular area that I truly enjoy, and that's movies, bitches. Love the movies. And just like 1985 and 1984, 1986 was also a great year for film. Let's start at the top of the list, the one, the only, Top Gun. The highest grossing film in 1986, and a legendary performance by Val Kilmer as the creepy, blonde, Aryan type of guy, and Tom Cruise, the dark-haired gypsy motherfucker who has a little bit of a hothead. Everyone knows the story. Only one person can break down that story in the way it needs to, and that one person is Quentin Tarantino, which I am going to play for you right now.
What's the film about? What's it really about? What genre does it take?
What like the spine?
The spine.
Like one sentence? Like
no, I don't fucking Boy Meets Girl. I don't give a shit about that. Fuck Boy Meets Girl. Fuck motorcycle movie. No, what is really being said? What's really being seen? That's what you're talking about. Because the whole idea, man, is subversion. You want subversion on a massive level. You know what one of the greatest fucking scripts ever written in the history of Hollywood is?
What?
Top Gun.
Oh, come on.
Top Gun is fucking great. What is Top Gun? You think it's a story about a bunch of fighter pilots?
Yeah, it's about a bunch of guys waving their dicks around.
It is a story about a man's struggle with his own homosexuality. That's serious. That is what Top Gun is about, man. You've got Maverick, all right? He's on the edge, man. He's right on the fucking line, all right? And you've got Iceman and all his crew.
Right.
They're gay. And they represent the gay man,
right.
All right? And they're saying, go the gay way. Go the gay way. He could go both ways.
What about Kelly McGillis? Right?
Kelly McGillis, she's heterosexuality. She's saying, no. Go the normal way. Play by the rules, go the normal way. And they're saying, no, go the gay way. Be the gay way. Go for the gay way. All right? That is what's going on throughout that whole movie. He goes to her house, right? All right? It looks like they're going to have sex. You know, they're just kind of sitting back. He's taking a shower and everything. They don't have sex. He gets on the motorcycle, drives away. She's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here?
Right.
Next scene you see her, she's in the elevator. She is dressed like a guy. She's got the cap on. She's got the aviator glasses. She's wearing the same jacket that the Iceman wears. She is, okay, this is how I gotta get this guy. This guy's going towards the gay way. So I gotta bring him back. I gotta bring him back from the gay way. So I'm gonna do that through subterfuge. I'm gonna dress like a man. All right? That is how she approaches it.
Right.
Okay. All right, but the real ending of the movie is when they fight the Migs at the end. All right, because he has passed over into the gay way. They are this gay fighting fucking force, all right? And they're beating the Russians. The gays are beating the Russians, all right? And it's over, and they fucking land, and Iceman has been trying to get Maverick the entire time. Finally, he's got him, all right? And what is the last fucking line that they have together? They're all hugging and kissing and happy with each other. And Ice comes up to Maverick, and he says, man, you can ride my tail anytime. And what does Maverick say? Maverick, you can ride my sword fight! Sword fight! Sword fight! Fucking it, man!
So there you have it. Quentin Tarantino breaks down Top Gun in a way that only he could. I'm not even going to reflect on it whatsoever because I believe his argument speaks for itself. Moving on. The Karate Kid Part 2. Now, okay, I get it. You could say Karate Kid should have stood alone as one movie. That way, Jaden Smith would have never remade it, and Hilary Swank, I think, would have never remade it. Because that's absolute absurdity. Should have never happened. It's a disgrace to the original movie, which was good. Wasn't great, it was good. Okay? But you didn't need to keep adding them on. But they did in 1986, and I gotta tell you, I saw it anyway. I loved it. It was terrible, but I loved it. I love a good terrible movie, you know? I'm a big fan of that. Speaking of great terrible movies that came out in 1986, how about The Golden Child? Now this one, I feel like most people were sleeping on. Alright? You gotta check out The Golden Child if you haven't yet. I mean, where have you been? Have you even heard of this film? I doubt it. But it is something I saw and just I loved it. You know why? Because it's fucking Eddie Murphy, son. It got shit reviews from IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. But Ebert gave it 3 out of 4. You know? Eddie Murphy. It's fucking funny. Okay? It's about a magical little Chinese boy who lives in a cage that's hanging over a pit. Alright? Go check out The Golden Child. That's my little nugget for you right there. Of course, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Everybody knows about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There's nothing else that could possibly be gained by talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But it is noteworthy as a classic movie that came out in 1986. But how do they expect us to believe that Ferris actually sang Danke Shane when it's clearly Wayne Newton? And I say, fuck you for that. Matthew Broderick, you should have boned up and fucking sang it yourself, because that's what Ferris would have done. Moving on. Back to School with Rodney fucking Dangerfield. Oh, I went to the dentist and told him my teeth were yellow. He said, wear a brown tie. Fucking forget about it. Back to School's great. Jumping off the diving board. Classic comedy. Rodney Dangerfield was always funny. Go see Back to School. I'm sure it's playing in some drive-in movie theater somewhere where you can finger bang your girlfriend and drink cheap beer and eat gummy worms until your fucking teeth rot. Check it out. Back to School, Rodney Dangerfield, in dollar bins everywhere. For all you cartoon lovers out there, don't forget An American Tail, the cartoon about a little fucking Jewish mouse who moves to America. Movie was grimy, man. The little mouse. All right, so everything was drawn evilly. Everything looked fucking evil. America looked evil. All the cats looked evil. Everything was fucking evil. And the poor little Jewish mouse was just trying to get by. You know? He had his little fucking hat, and that was all he fucking had. Okay? I'm glad they lightened up a little bit later when they made American Tail 2, Fievel Goes West. Okay? Because that one was a little bit funnier with the dog, sheriff, that was old and off his game, and Dom DeLuise was in it, and gave the fucker the lazy eye. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Moving on. Short Circuit, the movie about the robots that become alive. You know, it's when we first started to get into some artificial intelligente type of shit. They're already programming us for it. The American people are being programmed by the movies since 1986. All right? Take note of that. Also, Oliver Stone presents Platoon. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, the striking film about Vietnam, which I learned today that Oliver Stone was in. I didn't even know that. I knew he made movies. I didn't know he was in Vietnam. That explains a lot about his crazy fucking ass. Jesus, criminy. Anybody that came back from Vietnam, you just gotta be cautious around. You never know. You never know. Mostly, you never know. Okay? You can usually spot him pretty easily, you know, with the green army jacket and the long, unkempt hair and T-shade glasses, the bad mustache. You can spot him. But, you know, handle them with kid gloves, okay? They've been through a lot. They've been through a lot, guys. All right? Also, Hoosiers. Gene Hackman. Hoosiers. Ladies and gentlemen, are you here? Great film. If you missed that one, check it out. You kind of got to enjoy basketball a little bit, too. Really like the movie. But Gene Hackman puts on such a stellar performance. It's hard to say no to Hoosiers. He's explosive. But it's not bad. And my campy favorite from 1986, folks, Big Trouble in Little China. Yes, please, and thank you. If you haven't seen that, you're out of your fucking gourd. Classic fucking movie. Kurt Russell. You know, it's just preposterous. It's preposterous, but it's great. I laugh my ass off every time I see it. It's been a long time, but you should check it out. I'm sure it's on some kind of site somewhere. But not here. So anyway, let's see if you remember this little gem from 1986.
Just tell me one thing, Burke. You're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out.
That's the plan.
All right, people, on the ready line. Are you me? Yeah! Are you me? Yeah! Are you? Get on the ready line, Marine! Get something to die! Get on the ready line!
Get your light up here.
Keep back, don't scare her.
Movement! Talk to me, Hudson!
I got signals. I got readings in front and behind.
There's nothing back here.
Look, I'm telling you, there's something moving and it ain't us.
Get them out of there!
They cut the power.
How could they cut the power, man? They're animals. There's movement all over the place. 5 meters, man. 4.
Aliens. This time, it's war.
Yep, I'm sure you remember that one, folks. How can I left it off the list on purpose because I knew that we were going to get to it. Okay? I like to mix it up. All right? I don't want to talk about it and then play the trailer for it because it wouldn't be a surprise. Right? Come on. You're with me, right? Come on. I still love you. Moving out of the 80s and back into reality, back into the present. Well, the recent past. So, this Friday, I was out at an establishment, having a good time, having a beverage or two, and I go to cash out at the end of the night, as per usual, and they're telling me that my card is declined. And I know goddamn fucking well that there's money in that account. All right? But this is not what they're telling me at this little seedy fucking spot, okay? First off, cash is never fucking declined, all right? This is my problem with debit cards, credit cards, shit like that. I clearly have funds available. My money is there, but my card is declined. Cash is never fucking declined. This is my problem. This is why I didn't want to ever have to have a bank account. Keep my money in a fucking safe. You know what I mean? I'm weird like that. But, so the shit's declined. I'm like, there's no way. No way. She tells me to call my bank. This is what the fucking bartender tells me, to call my bank. I'm like, listen, I know there's money in the account. I got a fucking app on my phone. I showed her the app. She's like, it doesn't matter. You got to call your bank. It's 2 a.m. and I am held up over this fucking tab because they have shady ass fucking customers who pay with stolen credit cards. You're fucking kidding me. So I fucking call the bank. Or the customer helpline or whatever the fuck it is. I call it. And there was a chick that I had been talking to. She overhears this. And I'm on hold with some automated machine. Okay? And there's all this fucking noise in the background. And I just can't seem to get what the fuck I need out of the automated piece of shit. And I hear the chick say, she's going to cover my tab. And she hands her card to the bartender. And I thought, mother of God. This woman just bought me. You know what I mean? Like when a chick pays your tab at the bar, you feel like a whore. I mean, like a gigolo or something. You feel like Michael Caine in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. So, I hang up with the cocksucking automated banker voice. Yeah, I look at her and I say, I'm really sorry. There's money in there. I show her the app. I show her the thing. I said, it's the fucking bank. It's a goddamn maze over the phone. I can't get through to an actual person. It's like, we can go to an ATM, get you the money. Thank you for doing this. You didn't have to. She said she understood. You know, same things happened to her before, yada, yada, yada. She signs a receipt. I tell the bartender to fuck off. We leave. We go to the ATM. I'm about to get out of the car, and she says, do you have any condoms? And I'm like, I didn't know that I needed them. And she gave me this look. Like, what the fuck do you think this is? And you know, Mexican women speak with their eyes, okay? She just gave me the look, and I knew exactly what she meant. So I go and I get the money. I get the condoms. I give her more than the tab. You know, so now she feels like the whore, right? At least that's what I'm hoping. I had to turn the tables around for my own reasons, but she didn't seem discouraged. She was happy to take the extra money. And I never planned on hooking up with this broad. I just happened to sit next to her, and now I'm in this situation. So it's like, what do? I mean, she's cute. She's kind of funny and witty. She drives a nice car. I figured, why not? So we go to her place, have another drink, and you know, we do the deed. We do the deed. That's all I'm gonna say. The deed was done. Stay the night. The next day, getting ready to bounce. And she's like, take all your shit. She's like, don't leave the condom wrappers. Don't leave anything. And I couldn't find my socks. And she asked me, she's like, what do they look like? What kind of socks are they? I was like, well, they're like black, like ankle socks, like bitch boy socks. And she said, that's fine. My husband has those kind of socks too. What the fuck? Husband? I said, what do you mean, husband? He's like, you aren't wearing a wedding ring? She looked at me dead in the eye, held up her hand and says, you don't see this tan line? Then she reaches over, takes the ring off the fucking counter, or the dresser, and she puts it on. And I said, what the fuck is this? You never said you were married. She said, I thought you knew. And started explaining to me how the whole marriage was a sham in the first place. They were only together for the kids. And they hadn't slept together in years. All this shit. So my mind is racing, okay? It's like I look around and now I see like a bow and arrow sitting there in a fucking pair of like work boots by the door that somehow I had been oblivious to before. And I'm thinking in my brain, I was just like, oh my God, what have I done? I felt horrible. And the way that she was just like, whatever, it was nuts. The last thing that she said was, I got good sex. I'm happy. I couldn't fucking believe it. It blew my fucking mind. So I Ubered the fuck out of there. And as quick as Uber is, that was the longest 6 minutes I've ever waited. Standing outside a sockless homewrecker. Well, more like a sockless apartment wrecker, but you get the idea. A fucking terrible feeling. You know? But I was thinking about it. I was like, do you think that I can like proclaim rape after the fact? Because she used like trickery to seduce me? As a man, can I do that? Who am I kidding? I'll just laugh about it with my friends. I mean, I still got laid too, but man, talk about making you feel like a fucking piece of shit. So yeah, that was my Friday night. A fucking disgrace. But on a more positive note here, there is this show on Netflix I've been wanting to tell you guys about, and it's called it's called Peaky Blinders, not the Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders. Yes, it's fucking amazing. From the first episode I saw, I was hooked. It's done in connection with the BBC, so you know it isn't some hacky fucking Michael Bay project or something, okay? We're talking about, and forgive me if I mispronounce any of the names or anything, okay? Because it's all English actors mostly, and I'm terrible with some shit like that. I'll do my best. But it's Cillian Murphy, I believe, as I say, and he's the main gangster. Tommy Shelby. Cillian Murphy was in Batman he was in the new Batman movies as the Scarecrow and several other things too. A phenomenal actor. He's a great guy. He's got a real unique look. You gotta love Cillian Murphy. Okay, he plays the main gangster, Tommy Shelby, and his antagonist is Sam Neill. Okay, and of course, and like assorted other people with different various regional dialects, you know, who say after knocking somebody unconscious, they say something like, he'll wake up. Granted, he won't have any teeth left, but he'll be a wiser man for it. That was pathetic. I pride myself on my ability to do a terrible accent, but that was embarrassing even for me. And the last thing he'd think about is that funny little joke, won't he? And the introduction's like, all right, he's the oldest, you're the thickest. I'm told the boss is called Tommy, and I'm guessing that's you because you're looking me up and down like I'm a fucking tart. It's just the whole show is English accents saying funny little shit like that. I love it. It's based in post-World War I, Birmingham, England. And the story follows the Shelby family in Tommy's quest to ditch the old legal ways and become legitimate businessmen. You know, any gangster's dream, right? So that's what he's pushing for. But there's all sorts of weird twists and plot lines going on in different levels. The Shelby brothers, Tommy, Arthur, and John, and Finn is the younger one. He didn't go to but the three older brothers, they all fought in World War I. And, you know, they came back fucked up, you know, with like PTSD and shit. And I just thought it was a really smart way to kind of address what is still a modern issue, you know, but to present it in a time when they didn't know anything about PTSD, and it was called shell shock back then. You know, it's like they present it in a very real way what PTSD can be like, you know, and I think that was just something really fucking cool that they did. It was just great though. I mean, there's 2 seasons out. I think there's 6 episodes apiece. So, and they're like an hour or so long, but it's like a film, you know. It's like a film. Every episode's like a small film, and it's fucking great. It's got a love story in it. I know what you're thinking. Fuck a love story, right? But it's a good one. It doesn't make you sick. It's like a real love story because it doesn't fucking work out most of the time. I don't want to give away too much, you know. Some spoiler alerts. Sorry, guys. But it's a great show, and I kind of want to get you in there. But it's got substance abuse and whores, you know. So who doesn't like that? Okay. You got accents from every corner of Europe and Asia. You know, you got the Irish accents. You got the true English. You got the northern fucking Englishman or something like that. Then you have the fucking southern crazy bastards. You know, the fucking, where's the fucking lays? The fucking Irish fucking pikeys. Come out and fucking fight me. You know? It's so fucking shit. But, the cast is superior. The characters are believable. I haven't even mentioned her Aunt Polly, played by, I think it's Helen McCrory, maybe. I hope. And Grace, and the actress's name escapes me right now. 2 very, very strong female characters, and even Ada, who is the Shelby sister, is, even though she's a pain in the fucking ass since the beginning. You know, we'll get into this in a second. But the strong female characters throughout this whole thing. We'll get to Ada in a second, you know. Because Aunt Polly is a beast in the family. You know what I mean? She's just like, there's no weakness in these women that they have on the show, which I think is great too, because they need more female characters like that, you know? They get the IRA involved, you know? The fucking communism is spreading. And there's gypsies, man. Wonderful gypsies everywhere. Traveling folk of all kinds, living in wagons. It's fucking great. You know? I think they need to bring me in. I'll play like some kind of American character who like befriends them, but then I'll like a double cross them, and they'll kill me and like get away somehow. Because that seems to kind of be how it goes with the Shelbys. You know, they get a friend, and then they get double crossed, and they kill them, and they get away. But like somebody gets shot, maybe, I don't know. But Ada, back to Ada. Yeah, she's such a pain in the ass. Okay, I get it. Her husband died, but Tommy didn't kill him. Fucking Freddie died of some other shit. Spoiler alert: Freddie Thorne died. Sorry, but Tommy bailed him out of jail. You know, to be with Ada, and she's still a fucking cunt to him the entire fucking series. I never understood why they killed off Freddie Thorne. Like, they could have kept him around in there, kept Ada fucking happy, but then I guess the storyline would have went in a different direction. But Ada's such a pain in the fucking ass, man. Jesus Christ. Even at the wedding. Even at John Boy's wedding, she's still acting like a bitch. I had to fucking, I don't know. Tommy's an asshole too, but you know what? He does what he does for us. Sam Neill is fucking amazing as Major Inspector Campbell, the fucking Irish bastard cop. He's a copper. He's the antagonist in the show. Tommy's arch nemesis, and it's like a chess match between these fuckers every time. the dynamics between him and like Winston Churchill and Grace, they're all unique, you know. So it just kind of shows Sam Neill's depth as a character, and all the characters really, they just have so many different levels to those characters. They're not paper thin, and they really draw you in. It's fucking great, man. It's on Netflix. There's 2 seasons out. Season 3 is coming out soon. It's filming now. Look for it to come out. Support it. I want to see more. Tweet at the people. Peaky Blinders. Check that shit the fuck out upon my recommendation, if you can deal with an English accent or enjoy it. Because if you don't like an English accent, you're going to run into some issues, because there's only that going on. Or not even English, like a European accent. They're all kind of little different regional. I don't know. It's fucking BBC, man, and it's Netflix. How can you go wrong? The shit is like it's a period piece, but it's got enough violence and enough sex and enough drugs to keep all the idiots interested while the real story is developing in the background. You know what I mean? It's perfect. It's the perfect fucking show. I think it's great. 5 fucking stars. 2 thumbs way the fuck up. Go check it out. Peaky Blinders. And, what are we doing here? Where are we at? What do I got? Oh, yeah. I guess that's going to probably fucking do it for us this week, folks. The Weekly Prick. We'll be back again next week. With 1987. We'll be discussing that, obviously. And we'll see what kind of fucking trouble I can get into this week when it's hotter than a fucking dog in heat. Wait, hotter than a dog in heat? That doesn't make any sense. I'm losing it here at the end, folks. I got to tell you. I think the alpha brain is wearing off. I took it too early this morning. I should have waited and dosed up a little bit later. But I've enjoyed talking to you again. Get at me. Let me know what's going on out there, guys. If you have any questions or stuff you want me to talk about, or any ideas for the 5-minute movies or any of that shit, just shoot me an email. You can get me at theweeklyprick@skylarwho.com or tpk734@gmail.com for all you old dirty road dogs that already got me in your fucking Rolodex, bitch. I'll keep you updated on my wilderness gear if you give a shit about that, which I don't know if you do or not. And yeah, I'll talk to you next week, fuckers. All right, take care of yourselves and God bless ya.